Hello, students, and welcome to episode 65 of the online lessons. And in this lesson, we're going to talk about two places that are kind of rivals but get along, respect each other, but also sort of make fun of each other and things like that. It's an exciting lesson. I hope you guys like it. I did a little bit of research for this and I thought it was interesting. So let's get into it. I have a little brother, and me and my little brother growing up had a lot of conflict. We would often argue and fight. We would often play together. And as the years went by, we started to get along more and more. We found similarities with each other. We really liked similar things, and we just grew up respecting each other. And now we have a very close relationship. But there is a little bit of a rivalry, and we call that sibling rivalry. It's when two siblings are sort of rivals. You know, they're arguing, they're fighting, they're making up, they're getting along, they're fighting again. And the places that we're going to talk about today have a very similar history. And we're going to talk about France and England and their relationship with each other throughout history and in the modern day, what they think of each other these days. So let's read about it. This article is called Across the Channel, A Tale of Two Neighbors. Okay, I'm going to start reading now. Hello, everyone. Today, we're going to talk about two very interesting neighbors, France and England. They live just across a small sea from each other called the English Channel. They are very different from each other in culture and personality, even though they live so close. And today we are going to talk about their differences and similarities. For centuries, hundreds and hundreds of years, England and France were rivals, battling for power and territory. Sometimes France would conquer England, or England would conquer France. And at one point, they had the same king. I think it was King Henry IV. You might have heard of the famous 100 Years' War, a long series of conflicts between the two kingdoms. In modern times, they were part of the same big family, the European Union, where they had to follow the same rules and work together on many things. But now, England has decided to leave that family in what is called Brexit. So they, France and England, are figuring out their new political relationship. However, the citizens are very different from the governments. So even if the governments are trying to develop new relationships, the citizens don't change their opinions so much. Let's start by looking at some things that English people admire about their French neighbors. The French are known for their great sense of style. They always seem to look chic, fashionable, and put together, whether they're walking down the street or enjoying a meal at a cafe. They also love good food and wine. French cuisine is famous all over the world with delicious cheeses, breads, and pastries. And their language, French, sounds very beautiful and romantic. On the other side, the French people see many good things in their English neighbors too. They like the English sense of humor, which is often a bit dry and sarcastic. It's like they're always telling a little joke, even when they're being serious. The French also appreciate the English tradition of afternoon tea. It's a time to relax and enjoy a cup of tea with some small snacks, and it seems very elegant and civilized. And when it comes to sports, the French respect the English idea of fair play. They believe in playing by the rules and being good sports, even when they lose. Of course, just like any neighbors, there are some funny differences between them. The English might laugh at how much the French love rules and paperwork. It seems like there's a form to fill out for everything in France. And sometimes the French go on strike to protest things they don't like. This can be surprising to the English, who are generally more reserved or passive. The French, on the other hand, might find it strange how much the English talk about the weather. It's one of their favorite topics of conversation. And they also might wonder why the English seem to love waiting in line so much. In France, people are a bit more impatient. But even with these little jokes and differences, there's a deep respect between the two countries. This respect comes from a long history of shared experiences. They've fought wars against each other, like the famous 100 Years' War. But they've also been allies in many other conflicts. They've traded with each other, shared ideas, and even influenced each other's languages. Actually, almost 45% of all English words have a French origin. So, next time you hear about France and England, remember they are more than just neighbors. They have a complex and interesting relationship, just like any two close friends or siblings, just like me and my brother. They might tease each other sometimes, but they also learn from each other and appreciate each other's good qualities. And that's a good lesson for us. No matter where we live in the world, it's important to understand and respect people who are different from us. We can all learn something new from each other, and that makes the world more interesting and exciting. All right, thank you for listening, you guys. I'm just looking at myself in the camera and it's a little hot in here and I'm a little sweaty and turning red. But I'm very, very genki and I'm happy to be sharing this video with you guys. So please ignore my hot and red face. Sorry about that. Let's look at the vocabulary today. All right. So we have 5 vocab words and today we have a few expressions that I want to help explain. So let's start with the first vocab word. The word is chic, and I think this is a French word, and it means elegantly and stylishly fashionable. So like very fashionable. And when we talked about French fashion and French clothing, we said that they are chic. So chic, elegant, and fashionable. And when we talked about the English British style of humor, we say dry. It's dry and sarcastic. So what does dry humor mean? Well, dry humor means a method of making someone laugh without using emotion. So it's very soft. They don't use a lot of intonation. And it's a very clever form of comedy. Sarcasm is very similar. So if somebody said, oh, how are you doing today? And if I said, well, it's not hot in here at all. Oh, but it is very, very hot in here. But I said it like that. Well, it's not hot in here at all. Like without emotion, without a wink, or without a smile. And then the person has to, are you being serious? Oh, you're just joking. So that's a kind of dry humor and not very good. My joke was not very good. The British do it much better. Number 3, we have the word civilized. Civilized. So like civilization, it means like an advanced or society built together. But this civilized is about being polite. So if we say, oh, he's a very civilized individual, we would say he's being polite and having good manners. And the next is another expression, number 4, fair play. And fair play means respect for the rules or equal treatment for all concerned. So an example of fair play is if I'm playing volleyball and I touched the net, but the referee didn't see that. And my team scored a point, but I would tell the ref, I touched the net. That's fair play. It's equal treatment. I touched the net. That should be a point for the other team, but the ref didn't see it. But I need to tell the referee, hey, ref, I touched the net. Please give them a point. So it's equal treatment, fair play. All right. And the next word, number 5, is tease. So teasing, to tease someone, to tease, is to make fun or attempt to provoke a person. It says, or animal, in a playful way. So the way I would explain this is it's similar to like bullying, but bullying is mean and not playful. Bullying is you are being aggressive and rude and mean towards somebody. But teasing is you are making fun of them. You are being a little bit rude or mean, but it's not from hatred. It's not from anger. You're usually friends with the person that you tease. You like them. So you're playing in a playful way. You're making or poking fun at them. So that's tease. So in the article, we talked about how British and French people tease each other. They make jokes, but they have a respect for each other too. Okay, and finally, let's go to our discussion questions. There are 5 discussion questions that I'd like you guys to think about. And if you make an answer, you can let me know in the future what your answers are. But let's look at them one by one. So, number 1, the question is, did you know about any of the culture points from the article about French or English? So, for example, the English dry humor or the French cheese or something like that. Did you already know or hear about any of those culture points? Number 2, are any of these culture points from the French or English similar to